Alrighty then. So let's look at this pocket watch here, see if I can open this up easily. I'm going to maybe take the top off and then take the bottom off. Let's see what I can do here. I got to diagnose the watch problem. This thing is wound all the crap, so, and as I can see, oh yeah, this is a Hunter watch. I forgot this. It's crazy. This is a crazy watch. It's a it's basically a salesman's case, right? So you got to take it off like that, right? But I'm not sure why this isn't winding or setting. This is odd. I had no problem with this before, so I fixed it, made it work, no issues, and now it doesn't work anymore. Yeah, look at that. It doesn't work anymore. What the heck did Buddy do to it? I don't think he did anything. Maybe he did something. I'm not sure. I don't like the fact it doesn't work anymore. Well, I'm going to have to take the hands on in order to get this thing working again. So let's get those hands off. I think I said on, but I really meant off. So the problem I have here is one of them is I may have to use my old hand removal tool here because the hands are not aligned. So, and I don't want to damage them anyway, right? So I can use this tool here for this hand, and then I can use the wider tools for the center hand. There we go. That's a lot safer. So it's safety in numbers. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon here. I'm a little bit tired, which I don't normally like to do watch work when I'm tired. But today it's going to be an exception. So I'm going to do a little bit of watch work here and see. I'll take the seconds hand off too, just so I don't snag it on something. I put a little bit of piece of plastic on there and then pull it up from the pipe. There it is there, world's smallest hand. So my videos are continuous, where other people tend to just do the 3 seconds. 3 seconds here, 3 seconds there, and I watched some video productions and movies recently, and sure enough, within 3 to 5 seconds they go to a new scene. So this must be the way the world works when it comes to making videos. But I think for instructional videos, where I'm trying to make instructional videos, I think you have to show it straight through so that people understand exactly what's done. So here's the case here, the salesman's case. It's a bit of a pain, this case, because it doesn't screw off. I have to make sure I don't have a problem with the actual, just very carefully work it. Gotta make sure I don't have a problem with the crystal. You do not want to break the crystal on this thing. Remember last time I did this is such a friggin' pain in the butt to take this thing off. I did a lot of work on this watch. I got it running perfectly, and then the gentleman, he sent it somewhere else, and somehow it got ruined. Alright, I'm going to just cut away because I don't think I can take it off that way. Okay, what I ended up doing was using a screwdriver and putting it right under the lip and then just twisting the screwdriver to get it off, and it worked. So that was good. Good. And now I'm looking at what I got here, and I'm trying to figure this out. I think that there's, anyway, I can drop this down. I don't recall the screw being like that. It's kind of strange. Maybe I'm just getting dumb. I need to get a bigger screwdriver for this. Looks like we're going to need a bigger screwdriver. You guys remember watching Jaws, right? That was a good movie. Even years later I watched it again and thought, man, that still is a good movie. I like when men start comparing scars. You gotta like that, right? So move in a little bit. So I can tell right away that this watch is overbanked. Just do that and I can see it slapping against the bank. So this should start ticking right away. But if it's got a problem overbanking once, it's going to probably have a problem overbanking again, which is not good. And that overbanking problem, man, it's a pain in the butt. I think I told you, and I still have to deliver back the Bride of Frankenwatch. And the Bride of Frankenwatch is still ticking. Look at that. And I fixed the overbanking problem not, and I got to deliver it back to Mr. Eilish, who's expecting to see that watch back someday. And I'm sorry, sir, I kept it for a little longer than I probably should have, but I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to cause me an issue. An additional overbanking issue. So now I need to put this movement, I can leave it on this probably just to undo the screw here and see if I can get it running again. But the problem is, if it's overbanking, is it a loose jewel? What is it? What's causing the overbanking? That's the problem. And I want to check that out. Just put this on the side here. Got to get rid of this big thing. It's going to get in the way and damage something. So, let me see if I can just put that back in and it starts ticking. Dip it sideways a bit, like that. And then I'm just going to touch, I'm going to grab one of my little pointy sticks I have here. I want to touch this and see if it works. It works. Works nicely, actually. My pointy sticks. Now I don't like the fact that it's overbanking, but because that's yet another issue, right? So I'm going to have to check the jewel on this as well. But for now, I'm just going to see if I can get this thing ticking again. So just put it in this way, because it has to, the jewel has to approach its side from this side here, and then turn it around. I don't think it's in good enough, by the way. So I'm going to put my finger over the edge. I hate when these things are kind of just off a bit, and there's a chance that that this will spill over the edge, and I'll end up with a bigger problem. Look at it ticking away. It's not even in, okay, and it's ticking. See if I can move it over a bit here. Is that possible? There we go. It wants to run, folks. It wants to run. Look at that. I'm going to put this in here, and I'm just going to let it run overnight. I'm going to run it out. I need to get my world's famous stick here. This is the world's famous stick, the Bergeron Polymade Plastic, very sticky, resistant stick. Look at that baby. 7010. Everybody should have a 7010, okay? And the reason I get this is so I can make sure I've got a little bit of downward pressure on the balance, and I'm talking just resting the weight of that stick on there, and it's a super light stick, and this just prevents the balance from riding up, and then me having another issue here with the I can see the hairspring is not even in. There we go. Now this thing should just start ticking like crazy. Now it must have taken a shock in travel, because that can happen. The watch is working perfectly, no issues at all. Takes a shock in travel, and then all of a sudden it's not working anymore. And this thing has got great amplitude. I remember setting this thing and checking out its amplitude. It was impressive. Impressive. Let me just do a slow-mo video of the amplitude right now and show you. I think it's probably still impressive. I'm going to get my camera out here and just do I'm going to pick it up so that so it's out of the way, and the Bergeron 5395 pad doesn't stop it from moving. Let me just see if I got any amplitude here at all, or any slow-mo time. There we go. I'll put it back down now, even though it's going to slow it down a bit. And let's see what I got for amplitude. All right. Tell me that that's not excellent amplitude. Holy crap. Look at that. I want your comments on this amplitude, folks. I know when I repaired this watch before, I did an excellent job, and I had it running perfectly. But obviously, it got shocked in shipping, and it became a problem. So I gotta take it off this pad. Every time I put it on this pad, it gets tangled up, and this does not like being on the pad. So what I'm going to do is just store this overnight, let it run down. I may put this on my movement holder, one of my many Bergeron, or my movement holders. My Myers number 58 is, I think, the one I'm going to grab, and we'll just put that there and we'll let it rest. This thing is just ticking like crazy. Not sure how the heck it overbanked, but I'm going to have to check the roller to make sure I don't have a problem there. But there's no loose jewel here the way it's ticking, so I need to train the owner on how to fix it. No, wait, it had an issue there. Look at that, there was an issue. Something's loose. I could hear it for a second, a millisecond. Something is loose. This is a weird problem. Again, like I said, though, I'm going to let it run overnight and see what's going on here. But I just saw something, or felt something loose, which is odd. There might be something floating around in there or something. I don't know. That is really weird. Anyway, diagnosing watch issues can be extremely difficult. It's not the easiest thing to do. So I'm going to leave this watch. I think I'll just put it inside here. Just let it sit and let it run overnight. Oh, you see that? Something is going on. I'm going to have to figure this out. Maybe a gear problem, not sure. What was weird though is I could not set the hands. That was odd about this watch. So if I put the, if I get my bench key out here and I just try to set the hands, did something get loose or what? Yeah, the hands are not setting. I think something is loose in there, and I don't know what it is. We're going to have to take this apart again, I think, and diagnose the problem. There's no alternative, as painful as it is, and it's such a nice watch, and it was running so strong. What the heck happened? And I look at this watch now, and when I stick the bench key in, this should wind, which means maybe there's a damaged ratchet wheel or something is damaged in there. It feels like it's working, but maybe it isn't. I'm going to take the face off the watch really quickly and have a quick look at that. Let's continue a bit with this watch. Luckily I did a pretty good job reassembling this, so there's no problem there at all. But these old watches are pretty testy. So being a pocket watch repair guy, I know that I often run into watch problems that I have a hard time resolving, and it can keep me up at night. I like when it's easy, but easy doesn't mean that it's going to work forever, right? So let me just get my thing under here and try to get this dial up. Sometimes it's great when my fingernails are long enough and I can just remove the dial. But what I wanted to do was have a look and see with this mechanism here what's going on. Like, how come this does not turn? That seems to be working there. Oh, you know what it is? The guy who owned this watch wound it so hard he stripped the gear on it. Thank you very much. That's why it's not turning right now. The gear was actually stripped. He turned it so hard he stripped the gear. That may not be repairable, I'm not sure. That's when you push it down and you turn it so hard that you actually strip the gear on the watch, and now you can't. Now it won't work anymore. That is what happened to this watch. I'm 99% sure. Gotta make sure I don't lose these little screws. But I will disassemble it and have a look at the mechanisms and see if there's a way of repairing this. I'm a little bit upset though that that happened. So did not expect that to be the problem, but it is. So this could normally just upset me a bit because I don't. And somebody just took it and overwound it and stripped the gears on it. And I had already repaired this watch and it was working perfectly. So what do you do when you're a watch repair guy and somebody screws it up? This is working here, which is nice, right? This mechanism here. But when I turn this, this should be turning here, and it's not. That's what's very odd about this. So it's not turning. That's odd. That means the gear was stripped. Buddy just went until he couldn't turn it anymore. So if you've seen a similar problem on a pocket watch, let me know. I'm a little bit pissed off that that happened because it got returned to the gentleman that paid me to fix it. It was working perfectly. And then he sent it to another person in Texas, and he said he wound it and blah, blah, and now it's not working. I was like, well, yeah, I know what happened there. He just turned it until he broke it. So there you go. I'm going to have a word with him. I'm a little bit upset at that because I can tell that's the problem. But I'm going to let this thing run overnight. It's running extremely well. The problem is it can't set, and I bet you there's a piece of metal in there somewhere floating around. You can almost hear it. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for the video today, and I'll just give me your comments, please. I want you to let me know what you think, please. All right, this is a ridiculously odd problem. So it's running again, and I go back in here, and I just turn this, and now it's setting again. And it just does not make any sense. So maybe that I was wrong when I said the guy turned it so hard he busted something. I don't think he did. But it doesn't make any sense. It's an odd problem. I do want to take some pressure off this watch though, because it's just so tight right now. I'm going to have to let it run overnight. I have no choice. But see how it's slowing down right now? That makes no sense at all. It makes no sense at all. It was making some noise earlier when it was slowing down. There may be something loose in here. A loose part or a loose something it's getting in the way of the gears or something. Because it's running so strong. Do not know. Do not know. Time for more examination, folks.